My name's Steven. I go to school in Arlington and I'm a junior.
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm a junior at Needham High School and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Janaya. I'm a sophomore at Needham High School and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, my name is Maya Brewster. I am a sophomore at Bedford High School, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, my name is Olivia. I'm a junior at Brookline High School, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, my name is Leah, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a sophomore at Needham High School.
Hi, my name is Nikita. I'm a sophomore at Brookline High, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hello, my name is Zaria. I'm a junior at Lexington High, and my pronouns are she, her. And we are a group of interns from the METCO B.E.A.T program, B.E.A.T standing for Boston Equity Action Teams. Our main focus during this internship was on equality and equity within the classroom and within the classroom curriculum. And the equity being that we are all given the same curriculum, equality being that we are all given the same curriculum, but equity being that it's different to like every person so that every person can relate to it. And as of now, our focus is basically on like making the curriculum more reflective of the Black experience, but like not only the oppression, but the achievement and success and the roadblocks, in spite of the roadblocks and obstacles put there.
Okay, so for the first question, how do you feel about Needham and their responses? What do you envision that school doing to implement change in the curriculum?
I really liked Needham's response, especially since they are the school I go to. And some of the things that were said that stuck out to me is that they know they're lacking in Black and POC history, and they have been trying to change that and add more representation. And along that, they also stated that they haven't been getting like the best feedback and they want more student feedback to make sure that the curriculum is what they want and need, as well as what will benefit all the students. Another thing that I really liked was that the superintendent said that they're implementing different programs that are age appropriate for elementary, middle, and high school students. And I really like that because Needham is a predominantly white town and they need to educate themselves on race and racial issues for there to be any change. Something that the school can do and that I would definitely be willing to help with is to make an African American studies course like a required history course or just a POC like ethnic history course, because it shouldn't just be like a small unit during one American history class, because racism and the history of race in this country isn't just like a small piece of history. And something that the school can do just in general to help their POC students is to make it a safer space for their POC and METCO students to be able to talk about racial issues. I know a lot of my own friends struggle to talk about racist things that have happened in the school, and I feel like they should have this space to be able to talk about that. And a lot of my METCO friends have stated that they don't really feel connected in the school, and it makes them really not want to be a part of the community, which they shouldn't have to.
I appreciate how Needham's representatives were honest when it came to addressing their strengths and weaknesses about the school curriculum. They were able to clearly state what they have done to make the curriculum more inclusive, as well as what they can do. Needham has emphasized the importance of feedback and hearing student voices and student advocacy in efforts to implement change. I definitely see Needham asking for more feedback from the student body about how they feel about the school curriculum and if they are being represented in ways they envision themselves being represented.
If no one has anything to add, the next question is, what is something one school did that you would want to bring to your school?
One thing I like to bring to Arlington schools is the racial literacy course in Needham High School. Needham Elementary Schools. It's a course that teaches kids starting in preschool about race and racism, so you know like, the rights and wrongs of that. Um, I personally like the course because I feel like many racial problems that happen in middle and high school start earlier with those same kids. I think many of the kids that do it either find it funny or don't know that the action that they're doing can hurt someone's feelings. So I think that it should come to Arlington because there have been many racial incidents throughout middle school and high school, and I feel like if you teach kids early, then it'll overall reduce like the amount that happens.
Something I would like to take from Needham as well, would bring to Lexington high schools would be, or like the Lexington district in general, would be a response team for racial issues. Like Steven said, I do think racial issues start when they're young. So, like, people may not understand the severity of the issue, but it does happen in elementary schools. And because of that, it's more likely to happen in high schools and middle schools, which I feel like if we had a set response systems, not only in the high school, but in the, the elementary school and the middle schools, it would definitely reduce the amount of racial issues that do go on within the district. Um, and I think that having a response team can definitely help develop a solid solution for specific issues, which can then call for more transparency. Because I know a lot of my friends don't think there's any transparency with how racial issues are solved in my school. And I also agree with that. I feel like we get like a little bit of transparency with the email that they send out stating like what happened and who they think like the targeted group is, why they think the group is targeted, and like it's really all just like why they think is going on or what they think is going on, not like this is how we're going to handle it, this is what we did to handle it. And there's never really a follow-up or anything. It's more like, a beginning of investigation that you never really see to the end. So I do feel having a racial response team can help with that. And by helping with that can make people more trustworthy or like trust the system more, which can then cause for more instances to be reported. And if that happens, then you can have an accurate count of how many instances there are in the school just to see how big the problem is. Because I know a lot of schools think the problem is really small, but it's mostly because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know what's not being reported, you can't really say that all of your cases are being reported. If nobody wants to jump in, the next question is, what are the next steps for your school that you actively want to be a part of?
Okay, so right now my school is working towards adjusting the curriculum into being more inclusive of Black history and success. Um, in one of the interviews that we have conducted recently, the interviewee didn't elaborate fully on what we are doing currently, so it wasn't clear. But what I understood from what they said was that we are working towards teaching different perspectives of Black history, not only the slavery part, and also including a larger portion of it into our US history classes. We are also working on making Courageous Conversations on Race Club, aka CCOR, more upgraded to make sure the content we teach and talk about in the club is more high school level since there's already a racial literacy class for the elementary school students. Also, trying to incorporate a racial literacy course or club in the middle schools to make sure the students are well prepared for what will be taught in high school so that they will have some background knowledge already. And lastly, as we were interviewing Dr. Daniel Gudekant, Needham superintendent, he mentioned that there is inclusive training for the teachers, and I would really like to be a part of that and serve as a student perspective. And I think this would help the teachers understand the environment of the school and how they can make it better.
Similar to what Maya said earlier, most of the people I interviewed just repeated the fact that we need improvement, which is great that they're acknowledging it, but there's not much change. And unlike Leah, my school isn't necessarily changing the curriculum, but individual teachers are trying to sneak in little bits of history every now and then. We have a few programs like Day of Courage, a day to talk about race, social justice, inclusivity training, and the teachers ask our opinions on things like when there's a protest or a hate crime, and they send out emails to make sure our families know what we're talking about to try to continue the conversation. But it sounds like enough, but in reality, it really isn't. Um, Things like emails and summer reading about Black success, it's not really realistic because a lot of people don't read their emails. A lot of people don't do summer reading. So, like I said, it's great that they're acknowledging that there's progress to be done, and that's how you know that we're taking the right steps, but there just needs to be more. And if nobody has anything else to add, the next question is, what progress do you want to see before and after you leave METCO?
So because most of us are only sophomores and juniors and have a couple years left or even one more year, we would like for our schools to have at least begun working on offering a new Black History class that includes all grades and not only goes into detail about the oppression of the Black community, but also our successes in overcoming that oppression, Black culture, music, and the Black experience in general. Also, racial literacy classes in lower grades and more specifically elementary schools. I know that Needham already started these classes, but it should also be implemented across all districts. If you begin teaching about race at a younger age and it becomes conceptualized earlier on, it's easier to facilitate conversations around it in the future. Transportation, late buses to make it easier for METCO students to take extracurriculars, sports, or get extra help, or anything else that might happen after school. And morning and afternoon buses. Excuse me. I know some districts don't have them, but because METCO students typically live farther away from their districts, providing transportation to and from school would lessen the stress of having to spend hours taking the train in the city bus back home. And lastly, a stronger sense of community between METCO students in a district and throughout all districts. For example, having METCO meeting rooms in our schools or finding time to meet with other METCO students in our districts, or even having annual METCO meetings for high schoolers or specific grades of all districts to connect with other students and talk about our shared experience and learn how to navigate the METCO environment in general.
So before I leave my school, I want MECO to be more important in my school. I can't even count the amount of times somebody has came up to me and they were like, if you live in Boston, why do you come all the way to Brookline for school? And I just feel like I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of people not knowing the program that I'm in. And it's just like, it's stressful because we go through so much since kindergarten or first grade or whenever we entered MECO. And I feel like it's just so unfair to us. And I feel like we should feel important in our schools and we want people to know about our program like any other program at school and like any other student wants to feel important in their school. And I feel like we don't get that if people don't know about our program and what put us in our school. And after I leave my school, I want MECO to be more of a community. I feel like B.E.A.T has helped us do this. B.E.A.T has helped us meet other people from other schools and talk about our experiences. And it's been very helpful, but we're in high school. Some of us are about to graduate and some of us have a couple years left, and that's not enough time to get to know people. And we're already teenagers and developed and we know what's going on and we've been through, and I feel like we should get this as elementary, like in elementary school. We should definitely get this and we should definitely have the opportunity to meet each other from little and make bonds from little. And yeah, and I had this idea of visiting each other's schools, like maybe like starting, I would say 5th grade, maybe 6th grade, visiting each other's schools and seeing how the MECO program is present and how, like the differences in each school with the MECO.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this. I remember attending a meeting along with other students of different MECO districts, and it was a very fun and different experience. Like, I loved how we all got to share perspectives about the different MECO schools, and I think it would be nice to have meetings like that more often.
I also agree with both Janaya and Nikita. I think I agree with both of you guys on making it MECO more of a sense of community within like all districts. I feel like it would definitely act as a support system. And I know some people don't really have a support system in MECO or feel as if they don't have one. And by building the sense of community, it will definitely help people find or develop a sense of support. Um, I also think that there's specifically to Nikita's point, it's really important for people to know the importance of MECO and like the history of MECO. I know personally, I asked my teacher because he was teaching about like civil rights movements, And I asked him if he knew about, Operation Exodus, and he had no clue what it was. So I felt it was really nice to kind of educate him on that. And he said he'd look into it, which was really sweet. So I really do appreciate the fact that he's taking time to try and implement that into the curriculum, which kind of goes on to like what Olivia had mentioned earlier about teachers finding their own way to sneak little things into the curriculum. I know my A-push teacher, he really does try to implement all aspects of the Black experience, but I know it's not the same for all teachers in all districts.
If nobody has anything else to add, the next question is, what are your overall feelings about the project?
Honestly, I'm really excited to see the outcome of this project. Although we are doing work here right now, the work doesn't end here. And I know some of the people in this meeting, along with myself, are already planning on pitching some of the ideas that we have about curriculum to our school boards during the summer. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I can't wait to see some change happen.
I personally can't wait to see like what my school does, just because the people that we interviewed really seem like they want to make their students of color feel more included, and that's super important. And I also want to be a part of whatever change they do decide to do. Even though I'll be a senior, it'll be good to kind of set up that framework to have stuff like be in place, especially for like my younger sister and my cousins that are in their freshman year. And I really do want them to include their METCO students more. I remember we used to have ice cream socials in elementary school, and we don't really do anything like that. And being able to connect to students that are like culturally, socially similar to you is something like every student needs, and it's really important.
I like this project, and I think it brought to light a lot of other issues in each district, even the strengths and need them that I definitely didn't notice until I heard that other districts didn't have those same things. Um, I think we should have included more student insight apart from just MECO students in our school, like maybe create a survey for our district high schoolers, asking questions about how interested they would be in taking a mandatory African American history course or something along the lines of that. And I understand that for time reasons, that wasn't easy to do, but maybe next time, if we have a little bit more time, we could do that. Um, and yeah, I really love this project. We all found common ground, and overall the B.E.A.T experience was really comforting and insightful, and I'm excited to see all the other groups' presentations.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot through this and hearing everyone's perspectives. Um, it was interesting hearing the input of my teachers and principal about this project, even though I wish I had interviewed the department head, specifically history. I never realized how many issues we had in our schools. In general, I didn't even realize we had 33 METCO districts. And like Leah said, the work doesn't end here. And I'm really looking forward to continue working with some of you and really create change. Even though I'll be a senior, I'm still looking forward to make a change for the younger grades.
I really enjoyed being able to learn about each district and connect with everyone. This is definitely something we should do more often as a METCO community. And there's definitely going to be a lot of things that I'm taking back to Bedford.
I just really loved having the opportunity to talk to other students in MECO that I've never had a chance to speak to before. I feel like the deep conversations that we had brought up emotions for me that I never thought were important because I had never like spoken about them. But speaking to you guys in this program benefited me greatly, and I'm glad that we chose to conduct interviews because it was a great experience. I think our final project, we worked really hard on it and we did amazing.
I really enjoyed this opportunity too because I think that it really helped me gain different perspectives, and it also helped me gain a sense of voice and support. Um, I really didn't realize like how big these issues were until I realized that it's spread amongst so many different districts. Um, and I think through that, it really helped me develop a sense of voice and really push for what needs to be changed. Um, and it's really nice, although I'll be a senior, it's nice to know that I'll be leaving the MECO experience with the MECO experience by making a change. And it will also be really nice to come back and even visit, like maybe in college, just to see if any change was actually made, or even still help push for the change, just so other generations can really enjoy their full METCO experience.
Thank you all for listening and taking your time out of your day to hear us out. We hope that you take what we said regarding curriculum into consideration, including Black and minority perspectives, teaching about race in the curriculum from a young age, and being more inclusive with METCO students that go to the schools. Also making them feel welcomed and connected to the school. We hope this is taken as a chance to reflect and it motivates you all to further advocate for POC, for representation of POC in our curriculums and overall school environment.